time to check out Retropolis. Now the last video I was just, I ended up on top of this bit and I showed a ton of stuff, but yeah. Hi, welcome to Minecraft. This actually is our server. We've had that for a long time. Look over my shoulder, it says circa 2011 it was founded. So yeah, it's our old Minecraft server, and we actually did a multiplayer, multinational Minecraft thing. So welcome to the spawning room built by Zombie Monkey. This room was actually created around the original spawning hut because our Minecraft world actually became pretty huge. And as you can see, look outside of the window, then you can actually see the world. There's just a big cat over there and some ruins. But what is this world all about? Right, so this is the original spawning point, and we have some beginner's tools. Whoops. So some food and some axes and what have you. And basically, this world has been going on ever since 2011. Now, let me just walk outside. I'm using shaders, so it looks a bit different than normal Minecraft. So welcome to Retropolis. This is our creative world. And as you can see, there's a reflection on the water, there's real clouds and the Minecraft clouds, and there's sunshine and shadows. But yeah, our world has turned into some sort of huge thing, and this area is actually where it all started. And what we did actually was, at a very early point, we actually started to use all these signs. And if you use signs for your world, for your place, and actually start to name the areas, it actually becomes a more real thing. Oh, yeah, let's get into a boat and just row over to that house. Because believe it or not, that actually is my house. And it's actually something that Elise built. At least this version of the house. There's train tracks, so we have to find a spot to just moor the boat, get out, and get rid of the boat. So yeah, this is a Minecraft representation of our house. It's actually pretty much to scale, I think. Yeah, it's actually pretty much to scale. Perhaps it's slightly larger, but yeah, it's pretty much the same, has the same dimensions. So yeah, it says 39. That's right, that is our house number. This actually is our mailbox. And this is our front door. No doorbell, but let's get in. I'm actually in the house at the moment, in real life. So let's close that. This is the downstairs cloakroom. You can actually flush. You can actually flush it and at the same time close the door on yourself. Yeah, this basically is our hallway, And there's a wardrobe over here, and this is the stairs leading up to the second story, or the first story. We actually name our stories differently than most Anglo-Saxon countries. But yeah, walk into the living room. Now the living room, this is our 2011 living room. It has changed around a bit. That big wardrobe actually stands over here right now. This bit stands over there with a huge TV on it. That little chair thing, it's like a little sofa, has gone. This sofa has been turned so it stands over here. This TV is gone. This stove is gone. Yeah, basically, and there's a plant, but basically this is our house, and our dining room table actually still is where it is. And if you've watched some of my videos, these lucky bird photos, this is actually a place where I usually build my Legos, and some of you have seen me sitting here in some of the videos. And this actually is a set of French doors. And basically this is, yeah, the view from, oh yeah, you may actually have seen me posting good morning photos, sometimes on the good morning videos with a view from the bedroom. I'll show you what it looks like, where where the bedroom actually is. This is our kitchen. This actually has been turned into a sort of additional kitchen. There's a cabinets over here right now, and this actually is a representation of the couch. It used to be in our garage. We had some plans to turn the garage into a living space, but that actually didn't happen. And this couch actually has been transported up into my game room. And yeah, this is the outside. Let's yank around the sun. Time set 0. Yeah, and basically very early summer, actually the sun rises in over that area, and actually this is where in reality a big river is. And yeah, basically these two trees, we had these at the back of our house, but they've been replaced. We've got a huge yeah, what is it, garden shed with succulents on the roof, growing on the roof. We have 2 willow trees, not willow trees, and a trellis with grapevines growing. But this is, and this this view is a bit different, but we often have a field of corn and cows and stuff. But yeah, let's go into the bedroom, which is over there, and I'll show you the, oh, there's an egg. A good morning photo. Yeah, it's a bit smaller than real size. I guess it could have been a block wider or something like that. But no, it's alright. So let's get up the stairs, like so. This actually is my study, and I've filmed some clips over here. There's a computer desk, and over here actually is my game room. Now a lot of this actually has either been put into a storage area, which is over here, or the attic, or the garage, or has been sold off, because I sold a lot of my doubles. Here would be a CRT TV with a Mister, a VIC-20, and some other stuff. This would be my optical disc collection, and this would also house some Lego stuff, but also the Atari stuff. And here would be my white couch, and a cow's head, and a Sonic, pixelated art stuff, and a TV, and a gaming PC. So yeah, let's move to the bathroom. Yeah, our bathroom, but this actually is our bedroom. And this is Elise's workplace slash sewing atelier, arts and crafts room. Basically, she does a lot of stuff there. And our bed, if I take a good morning photograph, usually it's from this position. We don't have a lighthouse, we don't have that, but we just have cows and trees and, you know, serene green Dutch countryside. So yeah, of course and let's move up into the attic. We have a dryer washing combination, and here would be an incredible big set of shelves, which also houses a part of the collection. There's a double bed in reality as well, so people can stay over, bookcase. And like in reality, there actually aren't banisters over here, so it's very, very dangerous if you move around our attic. So let's abandon the house. Let's get out. And I've shown this before, but oh, hello. But not in this high definition ray traced goodness. And I believe actually this was Andy's birthday cake, or was this custard's? Erwin, yeah, Erwin. His birthday is somewhere in September. I believe there's a bit of a backlog of about 6 birthdays now. He keeps telling us he's going to celebrate them, and there's going to be a LAN party in the house and stuff, but we're still waiting. We're still waiting. So Erwin, is it going to happen this year? Not sure. Yeah, oh, and that's actually a functioning lighthouse. Perhaps if I time set 1800 or 18,000, yeah, you can actually see that it turns around, that it moves. And that's all part of something that actually makes Minecraft pretty interesting, and that's the fact that you can actually have some sort of technology and mechanics and machines using redstone technology. And people have been creating the most amazing stuff. People actually have created functioning computers and all sorts of stuff in there. Michelle Knight, she actually has a whole range of videos. She uses another modification of the server, which allows for more elaborate tech, but she has just the most amazing machinery automating things in the survival mode, where she actually most of the time spends her time in Minecraft. Now, our world has become so huge that we basically... the cow is going crazy. That we basically we're creating ways to get around. And what do? Well, you create transport systems, and it's fairly easy to get railroad tracks up and running. And these bits that you see over there with the switch, those are actually electrical rail bits that actually give the minecart a push, otherwise you'd be having to push forward on the keyboard. Now, yeah, one of the things with these rails is that if you have critters crawling around and you bump into one of them, you actually will reverse your direction. Now imagine having spent quite a long time traveling around, because that actually can happen in this world. And before being able to get out, you actually are reverted. That's actually quite horrible. But yeah, we actually build, you know, train stations with names and directions and to get around, because we weren't able to fly. We were actually not able to run at first, I believe, because when we started our server, it was Minecraft in a very early alpha stage. So a lot of stuff actually wasn't present that is present now in the early days. And I'm just gonna walk over to Monument Valley, because this actually is one of the pixel art scenes that we've made. This actually is a representation of all the Minecraft people, Monument Valley, Valley of the Creators. It's an homage to the creators that have been on here, and it's not complete. I'm that one. I'll turn around and I'll show you. Yeah, I'm I have an L right now, so it's the L from Lactobacillus. I sort of had to recreate my skin, because when there was an update, it was ruined. I lost it, and so I had to redo mine. Elise is actually Mrs. Uhura over there with the what is it, green eye shade. Yeah, all our friends are actually immortalized in this way, or not all, but most of them. Pandora, I believe this is Polyventrus, and this is Uhura, like Mrs. Lactobacillus, this is me, this is Andy, Zombie Monkey, this is Electric Adventures, Tony, and this is Dave Webster. He's been on here, he's actually created some nice stuff. And this actually is UK Retro Gamer, Mark Rawson. Haven't seen him in a long time, hope he's alright. Mr. Custard, and this is Waffle Garl. Ooh, little rabbits. Now that is actually quite interesting, because have an egg. Oh, did it poop? Oh. So yeah, what's funny is that when we created this bit of the world, it actually was not inhabited by rabbits, but these critters seem to migrate. Now, if you look at our water, it is not inhabited by a lot of critters. It's just squids and nothing else in this bit. The Minecraft version that I'm running is 1.12.2, and it's the bucket server, and I'm using Optifine shaders. I can show you which shaders I'm actually using. So I'm using a Zeus 10.1 Ultra shader. This is the system that it's running on. So I'm using a 64-bit Java. I have an NVIDIA RTX 3070, and I'm running this on the Ryzen system. Yeah, so a huge world, and it really looks nice if when you use the shaders, because, well, it makes it look more realistic. That's a ruin that I built, and it's sad that you create a castle as a ruin, so it never actually was a whole castle, but yeah. And I'm really pleased with the way the server works, because it actually renders things from a pretty long distance, pretty far away. There's even structures that Retro Gamer VX actually built in 8-bit Valley that you can see while still standing here. So that's actually very nice for making clips. So yeah, basically this beach area is actually where we first walked around trying to get our bearings. And there was an island there, and there's quite a fair bit of water. Actually, this seed, every Minecraft world that you start is actually generated, procedurally generated. So there's a formula that sort of is used to just calculate the world, you know, and render it and create it, generate it in a specific way that is formulated in the seed. Well, the seed actually sets some parameters, and this world of ours has actually a ton of open water. There's actually a lot of Minecraft worlds that have very little water, but this one actually has a ton of water. It actually has huge seas with very little land. So shortcut straight on for the coastal path. Retropolis walkway. Welcome to Retro Hills Village. So this actually is the area where we first built our stuff, and we were doing things in survival mode, and I believe this is one of the houses that we built in Lockout and Defense Base. But then we wanted to experiment more and just explore the physics. Oh, there's probably some extra tools in here. A bed and a sword. Let's get a sword. And yeah, we turned on creative mode, because then at a certain point the game the game actually didn't come with a survival mode at first. It just was a block building world, and then things were added, and then this story and all these mobs were added, and yeah, it's quite something. This sign actually was one of the first pieces of art that were created, and with glowstone underneath or behind it, so it glows. I believe this also was one of the first structures that we built without the wood. This actually is sand, and you learn how to build sand because you just jump up and then you place a block of sand underneath, and then you jump up again. And this glass house is one of the houses I created. And that's actually an Apple sign that was tagged on a bit later, because home of Minecraft, the Apple Store, yeah. In 2011, I believe, was when Steve Jobs died. Yep. And I believe I was using a Mac at the time, so yeah, he died. Iconic figure. Built the Apple sign in memory of Steve Jobs. And this actually is one of the structures that Andy built first. He created this fountain, and he created a house with a jacuzzi, log cabin, and Andy was one of the first. You can actually see the red stone. He was actually one of the first to have automated doors and stuff. He really adopted the technology. And yeah, you have to use game mode 0 to play the node blocks, otherwise you'll destroy them, or not anymore. But this actually is the jacuzzi. Pull a lever to raise stairs. So no stairs, and then there's stairs, and you can get in. So it's to prevent the toddlers from jumping in and drowning themselves. yeah, and you can look at the stars. And actually, we were hanging out here. We would use the text command to chat to one another. You know, we would just hang out and use this as a chat room also. And the Minecraft server actually came in at an excellent time, because back then I had just finished my training as a psychiatrist, and I was working my first jobs, and we actually were in the process of moving. We had been moving 2009. We've moved. And just very busy times and very, very long hours, many crazy long shifts, sometimes 72-hour shifts, which left very little time for a social life. So basically, hanging out in the mines was actually something of a nice thing to do. MSX, that's actually assigned it. Tony Electric Adventures made. I believe he also made that spaceship. Oh yeah, there's a big bog, which was made by Steve Benway. Let me see. Where is it? Let's check the sun around, because time set 0. It's actually quite interesting, because he built this huge toilet. How can I miss Steve's toilet? And perhaps I should get a higher vantage point, because Steve Benwood built this huge toilet, and it actually goes down to the oh, it's over there. It's so huge that you don't actually register it as a toilet. And yeah, I'm just gonna be prepared to lose my stuff. No, I'm just not gonna jump down. Yeah, all these signs. And Nara was here. She's Tony's girl. I blushed when I flushed. For when you can't wait. Andy has been here, and Benway's Bog, and let's fly up. And you can actually flush yourself, and if you do, you fall out of the world and you die. Yeah, but it's a huge bog, and every game needs a huge toilet. And this is Tony's first house. So this is the MSX house by Tony, Electric Adventures. And I think he played Minecraft before. Let's loot his box. Ooh. I'm always curious what's in these chests, so I keep on opening them up. So let's see, there's a nice roomy place. Bed, some books, and of course everybody who builds a house also has mines underneath. Whoop. And now I just light myself on fire. There's a very nice lava. Let's cool myself off a bit. Very nice lava pit without any warning signs, so it's all your own risks, and here is this huge gallery. So people were experimenting with, you know, digging out structures, mining, and just fooling around. And now the real mining bits become more evident. You know, there's stairs going down. And I think that's it, yeah. Big plans, but there's still, you know, he got distracted, let's say. And yeah, this place, I mean, we've spent so much time in there, and of course with all these structures having names, it really becomes a real place of some sorts. And some natural light flowing in. It's very nice. What's in this? Whoa! Yeah, nice building supplies. Did I come down? Yeah, I came down here, but there's, oh, let's go back up, because I have a feeling I'll just lose my way. Yeah, big MSX house. And oh, there's a big Mercedes sign. Probably something that Andy built. He's kind of a Mercedes fan. But it might be a good idea to just show you how big the world is, to go back to the railway station over here and just hop on one of those carts and just ride around a bit and show you more of the world. Oh yeah. Oh. I'm spawned in a place that's called the Nether, and it's basically hell, but then something else. So what we did actually was populate that with some of our buildings as well. And it's always very scary to just walk around, because you'll just drop into a hole. But yeah, if you have enough light, you can actually bring seeds to the Nether and actually have trees growing. Might not be ideal. Look at those flowers. It might not be ideal, and there is a risk of fire, of course, with yeah, there's a slight fire risk, so to speak. Let's hope that these just keep very hydrated. Yeah, there's some more trees. And of course there's all sorts of portals. Some of them lead to another place, like Daniel's greenhouse. Let's just go to Daniel's greenhouse. So there's a greenhouse, which is made by Daniel Bienvenu. Formerly Daniel Bienvenu. Amy created this. And these structures, these huge eggs, were actually also something that Elise dotted around, which basically are huge mysterious dinosaur eggs, and this one got impaled on a huge tall cactus. And yeah, and I at some point had just decided to quickly build ducks. These were all built by hand. I had just you know, a basic structure, and I just found it interesting to just dot some Donald Duck characters around. Oh, and that's actually the lighthouse where we so let's go back to spawn. There's a I believe there's a railroad that actually. Oh yeah, let's check out this. This actually is the. This actually is the teleport hub. Because of course, after those train stations and walking about, we weren't satisfied with that. No transporter system, so you could actually transport yourself to specific coordinates and an additional world, survival world. You will be automatically switched to survival mode, and difficulty is hard. And this is the survival mode. This was added on later, April 15th, and if you go out, welcome to survival world. Difficulty is hard, and there is this train station that you can maintenance. There's a train station that you can go to. It's a bit disorienting, but this is actually a walkway to one of the houses. Everything is well protected because there's actually live mobs threatening you if you just if it's too dark, so it has to be well lit. And I believe this is one of Andy's structures, Zombie Monkey Survival Base. So this is actually where Zombie Andy might have some food. Sorry Andy, I'm just raiding your place a bit. There's no weapons, no. No, I'm just gonna use some food. Let's go up. It's always interesting to check out other people's structures. Let's check out. So there's some structures that Paul Ventures built. He built huge towers and stuff, and there's this railroad that actually goes towards. Can I? Yeah, I can yank around the sun. There's a railroad system. Oh. No. Yeah, I wanna get in. It's pretty tough going down, huh? Yeah, game mechanics. But let's see if I can catch a train. Because I have my own survival base. I've created my own survival base with some materials to just be able to survive a bit. But I need to hop on one of the mine carts. So let's see if I can get to the station. Down to spawning room. Press button to receive a cart. Thank you. I'll place it on the where's my bread? My bread is gone. And let's press the button. Whoops. And then we'll just be on our way. Now it looks very similar to the other server. Actually, it's two servers in one, or two worlds in one server. But yeah, it's survival rules. So you die when you die, and you have to survive, and you have to fight mobs, and daytime is okay, nighttime is scary. I think that's one of Andy's houses also. It might be Polo Ventress's. This actually, for sure, is Polo Ventress's house. one of the houses, and this is one a huge, might have been a world edit thing, I'm not sure. Some greenhouses to grow your food without mobs attacking it. And again, this also is 1.12.2, so the oceans are pretty barren compared to the more modern versions of Minecraft. We just have squid. And yeah, we do have water leaves and some of the other critters, but yeah, Minecraft really has evolved. These, I believe, these jungle bits and the Arizona flats, those were added right up to this version 1.12.2, I believe. Now some have left, obviously have left their carts on the tracks. They jumped out, or which is a bit of a bad habit, because you might actually get bumped back. But what I can do is I can just get out. Whoops. And is there... Oh, there's one going back. Okay. Get rid of one of the cards. And keep that. Yeah, this world, this big fortress, this big fortification is something that Polaventris built. Let's go down. We're actually in the neighborhood, in the area where it's actually possible to go to my survival bit. And this world is just amazing. This town, it's just packed with all sorts of features, like an amphitheater, shops, and just buildings and buildings and buildings. And I believe over here, if we move over this way, there's actually a greenhouse, or what is it, a growing area. I'm not sure how to get there. Probably over here. Yeah, there's stairs leading down. Okay, so there's food to be had, to be grown. And this is the food storage. I may actually end up... Oh, this cactus. Carrots. Let's have some carrots and some bread and half of the potatoes, just to have some food on me. And time to head up and let's swim, because that over there actually is my survival thing. Let's just take a swim. Okay. So it is lit, and I believe no, there's no I don't think I managed to create a I was able to make a fence, but I wasn't able to create doors yet. Hello, horsey. It looks like a fjord. Nice fjord horse. So, some solar flowers, solar flowers, sunflowers. Yeah, this bit is something where I take away the cobblestone in front. Yeah, so if you put some lava in the water, it creates cobblestones. This is my crafting area, and you can actually, underneath here, you can actually over here. If you use a tool, and you can actually get harvest cobblestone. And that way you get a ton of building materials, and you'll be able to build a lot of stuff. So that's basically a not very automated system. And let's, because the sun is actually fading, I believe, so let's, at some point I was able to make a door in my fence. So I'm looking towards that ominous huge place that Polyventrus built, and this is my own small fortification. I have some food, and I have this bed. I was really afraid of mobs getting in, so yeah. So basically this is just ready to be explored. I haven't explored a lot, so well, I forget. So do I have some weapons? Yeah, oh look, I have yeah, so I'm gonna, and then that and that and my hat. And I have some food, so if it's night, it's not night yet, and then I'm gonna sleep in the bed. Let's see, the sun is setting. Let's check out the view. So the sun goes away, and I'll just dress myself. Oh, I need some boots still. Let's see if I can get some boots. Needs to be fully protected, right? Look. Some diamond boots. So that will last a long time. So let's, it should be nighttime now, so let's hop into bed. And then it's daylight. So let's head on out. Do some exploring. Or a walkabout. And let's go into this direction. This is not really safeguarded, I believe. Or did I put a fence? I'm not sure. I don't think I did. Just open world. So let's see what lies beyond yonder castle. Now, if I was smart, I would have placed some markers just to indicate where my place is, but that actually is a good marking point as well. So yeah, just let's check out the world for a bit, the survival world, and just go on a bit of a walkabout. Did it love me? I'm not sure. No, I don't think it loved me. But with the with this armor, it's actually fairly easy to harvest some food. Now this seed is a different seed than our survival or our creative mode. This is just a way much more hilly countryside, whereas our world is just filled with a lot of water. Until we have this. Because we started this survival world much later on. It's more consistent with the more modern Minecraft generated worlds. Let's see. It's always hard to navigate through these trees because there we have some water. Hello. That looks like an artificial bit over there. Is that a wall or something like that? Let's swim across. No, it's just a bit of it's like a sand structure. But there's larger masses of water in this version as well. I do still have my minecart, but let's see if I can swim across. Yeah, it looks barren, and what we do have, I believe, is these underground structures, like temples and stuff, like Atlantean structures, but not in this bit. The new Minecraft has like kelp and sharks and turtles and all sorts of critters, and yeah, as a result, of course, it puts a bigger strain on the system. So these earlier versions of Minecraft are actually very playable on lower end systems, and if you play one of the latest versions on an old system, most often it's actually a lot slower. I'm actually very curious. Let me see if I can still. Yeah, though that rock formation and over there is full of interest display. So there is a structure. There seems to be something artificial, or no? I thought I was seeing some buildings, but it's just the sun hitting the sides of the that must be a temple or something, or not. So I'm quite curious whether or not we'll be able to see some villages, because they did appear at some point, but yeah, this is some sort of swamp area. What I usually do when I go onto these walkabouts, I just hope to be able to find a and I should have taken a torch. Find a village or a house or a structure to stay safe in. But you can also just cut some wood and have a torch and a bed, and just build a tower of blocks, and then just put a torch underneath, and then just put yourself up onto this pole-like survival thing. And some sort of willows. What is it? Birch and oak, I believe. Nice little ponds and flowers. Yeah, at some point flowers were introduced because there weren't any flowers before. Forest cows. Let's see if I can just get away from this. These forests are very dense and hard to navigate sometimes. And those are the hills that I came from. Oh, look at that. These are different types of flowers. And I'm just hoping to be able to encounter, a fortress or a village, just to rest and spend the night. Oh, look at that. These are just lava pouring out for this stuff here. Yeah, what you actually should do is just, get some wood, create a workbench, and get some wool, and just make a bed, and make some torches, and mine a bit, and then just, move about. But yeah, for the sake of this video, I'm just going on this straight walkabout. Straight, and he just instantly changes direction into this. Let's swim. I'm always curious what's around the next bend, around the next corner. No, that's a dead end. I believe night time is about to happen, so I may have to cut myself some wood. I always found it very strange that, it's probably the only way to make it sort of, to keep it playable, is to have gravity not work completely as gravity does in real life. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to harvest a complete tree by just, starting at the bottom and just cutting it up overhead. It's always very scary in survival mode if you reach nighttime, because you don't want to be in a forest at night. But I am. There's still no sign of any villages. I'm just gonna put myself up for the night and just hope for the best. that I'm not attacked by critters. And of course you can just reuse your blocks. Luckily these, I do have protection, but luckily these diamond tools, they just don't wear off that quickly. I might just keep on moving. No, perhaps change the sun around. Time set 0. Yeah, I'm just gonna cheat a bit. Okay, so we have another bit of day left. There were surprisingly little, or surprisingly few mobs. Oh, that's not good. It's a pretty steep. Oh, well, we're here. So I just want to encounter a village. But these often happen on plains, and this is just not flat enough. So it's a nice place. I'm not sure. I'm just moving around in a circle, I guess. Yeah, probably might be moving around in a circle. Not sure. These are these river things. Water used to be just random blobs, and then with a newer version of Minecraft, they turned into the more river-like structures, which makes it a bit more interesting, more real landscape-like. Perhaps I might just, head back to I believe that bit is where Polyventrus's world was from, or survival fortress was from. Now, walking across this and just looking around, looking up, can be very dangerous because Minecraft is just filled with this huge underground world. So you could fall in a sinkhole and just, die or get injured. And just fall into some mines. I believe mines and abandoned mines also were introduced just before this version. So we do have certain structures in place, certain items in place, but not all. And we just keep it at this version because if you have a very old world, just upgrading it to the latest and the newest versions not always works like you want it to. Whoops. Hi there. There's a young one. Let's eat some food. Oh. pork chop. Oops. Oh, look at that. That's a very nice looking flower bit and also lava. Could be that there's witches there. Forest witches or something like that. Those were introduced as well. Looks way too frivolous. Huge lava pits around, so don't get distracted by the pretty flowers because, you know, whoop. Yeah, let's see. I'm still hoping to just discover some village, but I'm probably not gonna be finding that in the jungle. The jungle is a pretty scary place. Oops. And it's also a bit easier to navigate sometimes than these regular forests. Jungle cows. Just cut myself through it. There's very many vertical challenges in these. But you can get around. Just jump and just. They're a lot less hard to come by than to get through than the regular forest would. But it's disorienting at the same time because, you know, it's good that there's a sun. You can sort of home in onto the right direction, but it does move around. But the cool thing about these shaders is actually that it does really give a nice feel to the forest. Whoa, there's this huge canyon. Whoa, almost dropped in. Okay, so I can get around. Big ferns. And then it's the jungle again. Hi there. I'm always hoping it'll end soon. Oh, it does end. And there's a melon. Still no jungle, or still no jungle. What? No, still no village, eh? Because again, it's getting night. Well, if I don't encounter a village before the sun sets, I might actually end up being a bit. again, I'm not sure where I'm going. I'm just exploring. Very, very, what is that, this fancy blooming place where I and then nighttime. It may actually be that because it is set to hard, there's no resources from villager or something like that. Not sure of it. Oh! I fell into this pond. Oh, I need to eat some. Let me see. Let's eat one of these. Nope. Expect some sort of village somewhere. It's just scenery. It's nice scenery though. Oh wow. Some sort of waterfall? Yeah, cool. Wow. Those huge canyons. Yeah, those were introduced also at some point. Now, one would expect a town to be here somewhere, but this is dangerous country because there's just these holes. A tendency to canyonate. Village. Some more horses. Those mountains look familiar. Could it be that I'm heading back towards more known areas, or? No, they're just very similar looking mounts. But sure, I don't think I'm moving to some sort of familiar place. Oh, lava. Now this would be just a prime area for a big crevice or a town. Herd of cows. No signs of intelligent life anywhere. Oh wow, that looks interesting. So no temple structures. Might be that there's this command that it just has no towns or something. Because one would have encountered villages by now. Right, okay. Interesting lava flows. Now the server really needs to calculate terraforming. There's snow. So there's a different biome again. I think it's destroyed. Floating island, floating sky island. sapling? Yeah, cool. So I can actually grow an oak. But I don't see any sugar cane or, it's just, I'm not sure, it's a, this is just what this world does. That probably must be the same sea because it also has these water masses. Oops. Hey, there's a temple, finally. Okay, let's check out the temple. And when there's a temple, there should be a village somewhere in the neighborhood as well at some point. It's hard to access. Yeah, it's just not accessible, not really. So let's move on. The house. Looks like a man-made structure. One of these swamp outposts or something. Seems to be that way. And perhaps there's a village over there. Seems that way. Are there buildings? Yeah. I think I've hit upon a village. Oh, that's nice. There is some torches I can use. This is something that someone built. Yeah, this looks artificial. I'll build it back. And put back one of the torches. So this does look like some sort of yeah. I'm not sure who it is, but I'm happy to have found it. So this is also an outpost. Someone actually created this. So there must be other stuff. That's actually quite interesting. Okay, let's leave it at that. Just, yeah, perhaps there's a bit more to explore in this world, but I'm glad I found this bit, this place. Makes it a little safer.